Get started with UltimateTax Desktop 1040 in 5 easy steps. Step 1. Installation. Install the software from your demo link in your email or from the software information page in myultimatetax.com. Extract the downloaded file. After extracting the folder, select the Ultimate Tax and year and open it. In the Ultimate Tax 2000 folder, select the Installs folder. Next, open the 17 WTW folder. Then, select the setup.exe to start the Windows Install Wizard. Select the language you would like to install the software with and select OK. Wait for the installer to automatically extract the files it needs for the installation. Select the Next button to start the install process. Read and agree to the license agreement for the software. Once accepted, the Next button will illuminate and be clickable. Options for a different installation can be selected here. Additionally, if the software is installed to a network drive or server, along with the workstation number, click Next once the specified options have been selected accordingly. Then, click the Install button to start the installation of the software to your computer or the network. Once the installation is complete, select the Finish button to close the installer. A prompt will appear to restart the PC. It is highly recommended to do so for the installation to complete correctly. Once the PC is restarted, an icon will be on the desktop. Double-click this to launch the program for the first time. Step 2. Setup. When launching the program for the first time, the Setup Assistant will appear. This is a step-by-step walkthrough to set up the basics of the software. The first page is going to ask for the EFIN and registration code. The registration code for the account can be found at myultimatetax.com. Enter your EFIN here. Next, enter your registration code. Once both are entered, the Validate Code button will illuminate. Select this to verify the information entered. Click Next to continue. The next step is configuration settings. If the previous year of software is installed, the option to use last year's information will be available to save time when entering the rest of the information. Otherwise, only new install will be an option. Partner verification is used to sync third-party integrations into the software, such as Protection Plus for audit protection and banks for bank products. Select Next when the partner verification has successfully been loaded. Next will be the office information that is used throughout the software on reports and other locations. Only the contact information section needs to have information entered into it. Select Next. CCH iFirm can be disregarded at this time. Click Next to continue. Under Preparer Information is where the user will enter their information to appear at the bottom of a 1040 to assist with auto-generating information for faster preparation. To create a new preparer, select the New button. All fields labeled with the red asterisk are required when entering information for a preparer. When it comes to entering a preparer ID, think of this as a username. There are no restrictions to the preparer ID, as it can be used when there are multiple preparers to simply enter just the preparer ID, and everything else corresponding to the ID will automatically populate into the return. Click OK when finished. Under Printing and Network Setup are options to change which printer is used for specific tasks, along with settings to control the look of a printout. Select Next when the settings have been adjusted accordingly. Under General Options, there are settings to automatically add a state tax return, along with what type of return you should start with. There is also miscellaneous options for history lists throughout a return and prompting messages. Select Next when done. The last option of this list is the Carry Forward Taxpayer Data option that can be used to bring the client's data from a prior year tax software into the current year tax software. If there is an installation of the previous tax software installed to the same directory as this year, it will automatically be displayed in the first drop-down. If not, manually locate the folder for the prior year. Note, carry forward process cannot skip years. To start the carry forward process, select the Carry Forward Taxpayer Data button to select the user and the returns to bring forward. When finished with all the steps in the Setup Assistant, select the Save and Close button to launch the tax software. Once the Setup Assistant has been completed, the login screen for the software will appear. Note that the requirements of a password for all users of the software. Here is the login section in which the user can be selected, along with the password will be entered when they are set. To log in initially, select Admin from the drop-down menu under Username. While leaving the password field blank, click the Login button to be prompted with Create a new admin password to get started. Select OK. In the red Required field, this is where a password can be created for the admin user. To see the requirements of the password, hover over the blue Information button. After a password is created for the admin user, select the OK button. This window will list all of the users that are currently in the software. Now is a great time to create any additional users that may be wanted, along with set change passwords for them as well. Note, the admin user cannot start new returns. It is recommended to set a password for either the pre-made superuser guest or create your own superuser account. To create a new superuser, select New. After entering a username and password, use the drop-down Assigned Group menu and select Superuser. Then select OK. Once all the accounts have been created and passwords have been set, select the OK button to continue. After account setup, sign into the admin account with the password that was just created to continue with setting up the software. Once the password is typed in, select Login to continue. Once signed in, the first thing that will prompt is the Select Package window. Select the package type for when starting a return, printing, and generating reports. If the user does not want to have the window appear each time they are signed into the software, the Do Not Auto Show checkbox can be selected to stop it from automatically showing. Once the package is selected, click OK to continue. The next screen is the return list for returns that are already created. Again, the Do Not Auto Show checkbox is an option if desired. Afterwards, close the return list to advance to the dashboard of the program. This is the dashboard of the UltimateTax software. Here there are shortcuts to creating new returns, opening existing returns, sending e-files, and multiple links for other features of the program. Next step is to select the Tools drop-down menu at the top. Then click on Edit Tax Form Defaults. A package type will appear displaying a yellow backdrop. This allows for setting the default for a return type by selecting the package here. Once the default package is selected, click OK. A message will appear stating any changes made will only affect subsequent new returns in the user and package. Continue? Select Yes to continue. When setting the defaults for a return type, it is recommended to preset any information that is going to be the same on all returns. This could be the preparer's information at the bottom of the main information sheet, the ERO information on the 8879, a state that most customers might reside in, or a digital PIN used for your business. Another popular option that people set up with the software is pricing. So adding the pricing sheet to your tax returns and entering your pricing on each line item. To add a form to the default, select the Add Form, Display Form List option in the menu. This list can be used to search for different forms. Also using the Look For box in the top right of the window Once the form is found, simply double-click it to add it to the list on the left. When all changes are made for a default return, close the return. Closing the return will automatically save any changes that have been made to it. Step 3. New return. After the tax form defaults are set, the user will need to be changed in order to start a new return for the first time. As a reminder, the admin user is not able to start new returns. Select the Change Users box on the dashboard to switch. In the small window that appears, change the user to one of the super user accounts that was set up initially. Once the password is entered for the user, select the OK button to log into the account. Once signed into a super user account, select the New Return button on the dashboard to get started on a new return. A Social Security number will need to be entered into the first two fields and verified, and also determine the file name for the return. Note the SSN field will change to ask for an EIN field if it's a business return. Then select the OK button to proceed to a new return. When in a return, notice the red exclamation points along with the blue check marks next to the forms on the left. These are good indicators that the information is either missing from the form information to e-file, or the form's basic information is complete and ready to be sent with the return. If a form is labeled with a red exclamation point, select the form and look for the selection indicated with a red underline, which indicates where the missing information needs to go. The goal is to get all the forms in a ready state with a blue check mark so that the return can be e-filed. Now that all forms are showing blue and ready to go, the return should be ready for diagnostics. Step 4. Printing. To print a copy of the completed return, select the Print Return option in the toolbar. In the Print Return window, there are options to select the type of print packet to print, along with the options to print to PDF and modify the existing print packets if so desired. To preview what a specific return with the selected package is going to look like, click the Print Preview button. If you want to change the print order and form, click the Modify Packets. This will show a list of all forms that are going to print along with which order they will print in. In the larger portion of the window, a visual shows the form is going to look like when printed. Step 5. E-filing. In order for a return to be e-filed, it will need to go through diagnostics to check for errors that may prevent it from being filed. Note, a return that has passed diagnostics is not guaranteed to be accepted by the IRS or state agency. It is best practice to review the return as well to double check for any outstanding issues. Once the diagnostics window displays a No Diagnostics Error Detected, the e-file option will illuminate to be selected. Select the e-file button to create the e-file. If a state is added to the return, an option will appear allowing the selection of federal and state for e-file creation. When the e-file is created successfully, a message will appear stating, "Electronic return is created and stored on disk." This means that an e-file version of the return has been created, but not sent electronically yet. To send the return, close this return and head back to the dashboard. Then select Send Returns option. For returns that have passed through diagnostics and had e-files created, this is where they are stored before sending. Notice the return created for e-files is in the list. Just check the box next to the return or returns that you wish to be sent. Once the returns are selected for sending, click the Send button. Before the returns are sent from the system, a report will display showing which returns are being sent along with their e-file ID number and the return type, federal or state. It is highly recommended that the report be printed and kept for future records. Once you have printed the report, you can continue. Simply close the report to send the returns. To learn more about UltimateTax Desktop 1040 plus Corporate Package, Contact UltimateTax Software today at 866-686-7211.